6, 7 hours is the most. It's probably all I need. And also I do meditation. When I stop and I actually get ready to go take a shower, I go in there and sometimes I just let the water run, and I would focus only on the water running. And I would do that probably about 10, 15 minutes, and I would just clear my mind of everything that happened that day. Everything, the main thing is that I got somewhere safe, and I didn't hurt anybody, I didn't hurt myself. So I will clear my mind of all of that, and meditation has helped me a lot. And also exercising. I exercise. I attempt to run 3 miles every day, but sometimes it's every other day. So
Right.
just that extra, you know, enthusiasm comes from me running. Being able to, I feel like, get further down the road and not be as fatigued. It comes from body staying in motion. Body in motion stays in motion. So yeah,
Right. Right. I think I know the answer to this question, but what's the toughest part about being away from home?
yeah, it's my daughter. It's my daughter. Well, yeah, it's and the smile on her face when she sees me on FaceTime, and it's just it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. That's the toughest part right now. But it gives me a reason to run hard and do it legally and get back home as quick as I can. So, I definitely got a reason to do the work that I do, and I definitely got a reason to get back home. So, that's the good part about it.
Right, right. And that truck is your home, so I'm quite sure you've got several pictures of your daughter and stuff hanging around there. So that kind of puts a smile
Yeah.
on your face when you're feeling down and everything. But what keeps you motivated during the long stretches of the highway?
I got a mission to accomplish. Every load is a mission to accomplish. Somebody needs that load for something. Somebody
Right,
needs that food, that wire. They need I don't it could be plywood. Somebody need it. That's the main thing. So I
right,
got to keep the load secure. I got to, stay on the schedule that I'm on because I'm moving America literally. So, that right there alone should keep all professional truck drivers just on task and doing their best to get the job done.
right. Good tunes on the jukebox too.
Oh yeah,
But
most definitely.
I think Tim's got a few questions for you, sir.
All
Yeah.
right.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about, your leadership and your mentorship and, and the road team. So we're going to jump into that here real quick. Like, so you served as and I heard you say a while ago as a Tennessee road team captain. And is
Mhm.
that, you said you lived in Jackson, Mississippi. I was trying to just somewhat trying to balance that, but your company is probably domiciled in Tennessee, right?
Yep, Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Okay, all right. So I finally figured it out with my little brain. I figured it out. You serve with them as a road team with some good guys because I know a lot of them over there from 2022 to 2024. So what did that role as a Tennessee road team captain mean to you personally?
Uh, it meant that I was an ambassador for the Tennessee Trucking Association. To me, an ambassador is somebody that it's kind of like I would say the forefront image almost for that association, and that to be able to go out and talk to you know the motoring public, be able to go to the community centers, the YMCA's, and be able to talk to them about staying out of the blind spots around the truck. It really it filled my heart in the best way because you know when you go the first year and you talk to that group of kids, you don't think you're gonna come back the next year and talk to the same group of kids. But you'd be
All right.
surprised sometimes when you come back, some of those kids are still there and they'll be like, I remember you. You told me to make sure my mom wear a seatbelt, and I be on her making sure she wear a seatbelt. And you're like, wow, like you really touched somebody.
Right.
So, that role to me meant that as a professional truck driver, more than just moving a load, you can also get out and you can actually teach somebody something about being safe on the road, not just with big trucks, but just with everybody. And that's a different way that you can help America. So yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it meant to me. It just meant that I can do more as a professional truck driver than just move a load.
Yeah. You're making
I
a
can
difference.
educate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you just reminded me of something. I mean, some of as long as I've been doing road team stuff, and as far as with the state, the company and the ATA there, uh, I've been to elementary schools, and then years later, I'd be into high schools, and the kids would say, "I remember you coming to my school doing a touch a truck." So it's pretty cool, when they
Yeah,
remember
it
you and
is.
they recognize you, and but anyway, what inspired you to? Well, you know what? Let me jump on into this one. What's the biggest responsibility that comes, with representing the industry like this?
Um, I would say the biggest responsibility is being yourself, but being a professional all the time. Um, I heard this from my mentor when I was actually going up to be an American Road Team captain. Like, you are truly a part of that image when it comes to the trucking industry. You truly are a part of that. So, you know, even though you may not be, in your shorter road gear or your, American Road Team gear, you are always going to be a part of that. That you are the image for the industry. So it's like, you just always got to be professional. You got to always walk and be the best version of you that you can be. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, who mentored you through the selection process?
Anton Sadler.
Okay, all right, good,
Yeah.
good, good man there. Good man, good
Yeah.
man. So can you walk us through, and we're going to move on into the America's Road Team selection process and while we're talking about it here. So can you walk us through what the selection process for America's Road Team, what does it actually take to be chosen? I mean, Steve knows, I know, now but I want the
Yeah.
listening audience to know what it takes to be chosen because it's not easy.
It is not. It is not. I tell you, everybody there was a heavy hitter. It was nobody that wasn't there that should not have been there. But from going through the experience myself, what I see that it takes is it takes you being yourself first and foremost. That is 100% true. You got to be yourself, but it also takes it takes I would say a lot of mental wherewithal as well.
Yeah,
That is so different from just operating the commercial motor vehicle. It takes you honestly. I'm gonna tell you, I had to tell myself after I was selected as a finalist that I am an American Road Team captain. Like I just started to manifest it in my mind first. Like, I am an American Road Team captain, because if you don't go in there to selections, not being cocky or anything like that, but you have to mentally believe in yourself that you can do this. Like, this is where you're supposed to be. It takes a lot of that mental wherewithal to actually, I would say, accomplish this feat. And it's is I would say this too. Um, you have to be humble. You have to be humble,
yeah.
because the number itself, if you just I did the math when we got selected, it was officially 97. And I remember you saying this on the show a couple weeks ago. The number for CDL holders right now is 3.65 million. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay. Okay. So if you was divide that 97 from that, you get less than 1%. Less
Yeah,
than 1%. So that's a very small number. Just to be a part of that elite group should make you humble.
that's
And,
right.
I did my research on it. I know it started in 1986. That was before I was born. But, just doing all of my research on it, it was like, okay, I see how much, it takes to be this superior. So just go in it, be yourself 100%, but understand that you're going to have to always be the best version of yourself.
Right, right. And you know what? Of the 30 people that was there for selections, every one of them was deserving because they made it to selections, and
That's
you
correct.
know you just had to find a way to make yourself stand out a little bit, not too much, but you had to be yourself for sure. And you know what? Hey, yeah, I applaud them because I think they picked a good man to be a representative of the trucking industry for sure. So,
Amen.
Oh yeah.
Amen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what part of the selection process, man, was the toughest? Was it the media, the speech, or was it the personal interview?
Honestly, I was actually looking forward to you doing the mock interview. I really was, Tim. I had been gearing up for you, and when I went in there and it was actually a reporter, I was like, okay, let's see how this is gonna go. And so what they did was they broke it down to three different subjects, and it was three different groups. So I fell in the middle group. So I had two people from the green team to go in first, and they told me, well, they're gonna ask you just simple, basically questions. It's nothing major. So I fell into the first person in the second group. So when you go in, I never forget it. Nikki was like, "All right, you're gonna be on Good Morning America. We're going live." So it was my accident with a bus colliding with a truck that was on the shoulder of the road at the rest area. So you're going live. Tell us what you think about it. And I was like, "What?" And in my mind, I was thinking that, and I'm like, "Okay." And I mean, like that right there, I was like, if I don't make it, it's because of this mock interview. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna make it because of that mock interview. So that right there was my most memorable moment. Was I answered? I mean, I threw some facts at her that I got from ad read, and I mean, it was good enough. I made
Yeah.
it, but yeah, that's what I remember.
So that was probably the toughest part that you remember was going. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's tough, and you're put in those situations to kind of see how you handle the questions for sure. And I, 2 years ago, I got invited to be the mock interviewer, and I had fun with it, and I got remembered for it too. I guess you heard about me.
Yeah, I did. I did. I sure did.
All right, all right. So moving on. Let's tell the listening audience for drivers or companies who want to learn more about what the America's Road Team is about. Where should they go and what should they know before applying?
Well, if you want to know more about it, you can. That's the first person that I would reach out to would be the senior of industry affairs. Right there would be Serena Barnes. So if you want to reach Serena, the best way to reach her would be at her email address. That would be sbarnes at trucking.org. That's the best way to reach her. And she knows pretty much everything in and out about the American Road Team. Yeah, she does. And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
another way is obviously American Road Team captain.
right, and they can also find it on Facebook and other places, social medias. They can find it there, and they can also go to trucking.org. Also, I've got it up on the screen there. I didn't know if you seen it come up on the screen also.
No, I didn't. I can't say it.
Yeah, I put it, but you did it. You did it right, man. You did it right there. So, um, and if somebody wants to, schedule an event, a school or a church or whatever, how do they do that? How do they go about getting an event scheduled to bring a truck in or something?
So they would have to go to trucking.org and they would have to go underneath the programs tab. And once you go under the programs tab, you'll see where it says American Road Team.
Mm-hmm.
You'll click on that, and then you'll fill out the driver request form, and that will go directly to the team at ATA, and they'll
All
get
right.
back to you in a very timely manner.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna move on with the interview, and I'm gonna let Steve O jump in here and take care of it.
Are you a driver trainer?
Yes, sir.
Are you? Okay, so that's good, and that's a lot of responsibility right there. That's a
Yeah.
lot of responsibility. Uh, as a driver trainer, what's the first principle you instill in a new driver?
Patience. Patience is always going to be the most important thing when you starting out here, because now it takes me about what 5-10 minutes to plan a trip, and I could be going anywhere. When I first started out, that same trip may have took me 30 minutes to plan. You know, Backing up now, it could be in certain situations muscle memory. When I first started out, I probably would get out and walk around the truck 3 times before I was able to back up 10-15 minutes.
Right.
So you know, patience would always be the first thing I teach them, that, hey, whoever may be blowing their horn telling you to hurry up, you got to remember that once upon a time they was in the same situation you were in. So just be patient, take your time, don't make an unnecessary mistake, and don't make one mistake turn into two.
Right. Exactly. And you hold you hold several different roles in the profession that you're in. You're a professional driver. Uh, you're a recruiter because people come up and talk to you about your company and about the industry and stuff. And you're a mentor. People look up to
Mhm.
you. Uh, what advice do you got to someone considering entering the trucking industry?
Well, I would tell them this: whatever reason that you want to do it, make sure that it's an internal reason. Don't make sure it's just an external reason. Make sure it's an internal reason. What I mean by internal meaning, are you doing it to better yourself, or are you doing it just for the title? Because it is people who would just want to be a professional truck driver just to say, hey, I drive a big truck. Are you doing it because you want to have a career? Are you doing it because you want to make your parents proud? Are you doing it because you want to be able to take care of your family? If you're looking to get into this industry, you got to understand that being a professional truck driver is a lifestyle. It's a life change. It's not just a job. So anybody that wants to get involved in the trucking industry, whether it be a professional truck driver or maybe in operations, are you doing it for an internal reason? I mean, money. I
Right.
mean, we like the money, but is
Yes,
it
sir.
is it something internal about it that makes you want to be a part of this?
Right. Right. What separates someone who simply drives a truck and a true professional driver?
Um, it would be I would like to say their daily routine. I just say that because being over the road, you kind of see a lot of different things. One of the things that I actually like to do is, myself, I got a whole routine that I do in the morning before I get up
Right.
and before I actually get out the truck, along with what I do when I get out the truck. So I don't see too many people that don't do their pre-trip, but
Right.
I notice the ones that don't. Um, to me, I think that's where it starts. Before you even run that first mile, did you do your pre-trip? Did you notice that your mud flap was hanging off?
Right.
Did you clean your mirrors? So it would, to me, it starts with safety. A professional truck driver is safe all the time. A
Yes.
truck driver is just trying to make a dollar.
Yeah.
Safety falls somewhere along, maybe in the top 5 or 6. But a professional, that's number one.
Yeah. Driver just gets behind the wheel and takes off, and he really don't pay much attention. He just goes. You
Yeah.
know. It is what it is. All right. I believe Tim's got a few more questions for you there, sir.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
and man, this time's really rolling on there, and you talked a little bit earlier about your daughter and fatherhood there a little bit, and I want to kind of circle back to that, and you said that becoming a father made you softer in the warmest way. You know,
Yes, sir.
how's that baby girl changed you?
My daughter has made me look at life in a whole new light because she looks a lot like me, but she's a little girl, and you know the things that I take in consideration now, um, more than I do now than I did before her. It would be, how is something affecting somebody emotionally? Like being a man, we being a little boy, you would grow up, you fall, you hurt yourself. People like, oh, ain't get up, ain't nothing wrong with you, nothing like
All
that.
right.
Yeah, but you got that girl, you kind of run over there. Are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? It's like that part of, I would just say, being more emotionally available
Yeah.
now is what she did for me. It's like you go that extra mile to think about somebody else's feelings more than I ever did before. So yeah, she's worked hard on me with that real fast in just 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, and I can tell you, I've got a son and a daughter, and I was a little harder on my son when he was growing up, but there's just something special about those little girls, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, they and Steve can attest to that too, because he's got two boys and a girl.
Oh yes, oh yes, and she squeezed in between the two, so she had an older brother and a younger brother. So I had a little help there. They kind of
Yeah,
what was going on that Dad didn't see what was going on. So
Hmm.
yeah, and being over the road, Cardell, how hard is that, and still being present, as a dad, and has fatherhood changed how you approach safety?
Yes, it has. I mean, I've always been the safest I could possibly be. But what I notice now more than I did before is obviously because it's something that I have to see a lot of is children that may be in the back seat in car seat. Maybe are they strapped in? Is the parents trying to look back and make sure that they're not, trying to open the door or anything like that? So that little extra nugget of just having, a toddler, it makes me pay more attention to not only just that driver, but what's going on in the back seat as well. So it now the best way I could categorize how I handle being over the road but still being a present father, it would be when I'm over the road, I still make time to call and check on her. When I'm over the road, I still make that time when I stop to actually have a conversation with her as best we can. She only two,
Right.
but when I'm at home, I make sure that I get my proper rest, but I still spend as much time with her as I can. Majority of my time spent at home when I get home now is her.
Yeah.
Like I do my best to go ahead and get all my responsibilities out the way when I first get home. And every moment from there is dedicated to her because I know she needs me and I need her too at this point. So yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah, yeah, and I can just imagine you can't wait to get home. Whenever you're out there, you're like, yeah, I need to get on home so I can, snuggle with this little girl.
And you know it. And you know it. I can't sleep right without her, honestly, a lot of times. So when I get home, that's the sleeping buddy. We got to sleep together. That's my daughter. I love her.
There you go. There you go. All right. So go ahead, Steve.
yeah, do you get take your truck home, or do you got to park it at the yard and drive home in your personal vehicle?
Yeah, so we have a yard in Jackson,
Okay,
Mississippi. It's the Goggin Warehouse, our sister company, and we park there. And we hop in our personal vehicles, and I'm only 9 minutes from the yard, so
okay.
I go home there.
Now you said your little girl's 2 years old.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so she's at that perfect age. She's starting to walk and talk and everything. Do you take her over there and put her in the truck like when you're cleaning the truck and let her, experiment with driving?
Oh yeah, that's a birthright. I got to. I remember when the first time she got in the truck, she was about what 13 months when she first got in it, and she reached for the air horn. The first thing she reached for. So
It's
you
like that
know,
automatic. They know where that air horn is. They're looking for it. There, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
yeah,
awesome. They keep them involved. But got to kind of touch base on the industry perspective and the legacy. Um, what does the trucking industry need more of right now? And how
mm.
can drivers better represent the profession to the public?
Well, I feel like I need more women. I feel like we need more women professional truck drivers. They coming. I've actually trained. Half of the people I've trained have been women, and they're coming. They're coming. I feel like that me personally, from being able to train men and women digest information quicker than we do and better than we do. So I,
Right.
I would love to see more professional truck drivers that are women. The number has, like I say, went up, but I would like to see a more of a balance of that, you know.
Right.
Um, and what a professional truck driver pretty much looks like now, I would say in 2026, is someone who's clean cut, someone who's wearing clean clothes, someone who speaks in a professional manner, um, someone who's able to, you know, move the freight in an efficient amount of time, and do it safely. That's pretty much what it is right now. In the industry, we have a lot of companies have, most companies have, they have started to invest in training and continually, doing some type of online training for safety. We just got to keep moving forward with that message. I think that's what the industry needs. We need to just keep moving forward with that message of safety because, we've came a long way, but it's still some people out there. I feel like we just need to educate them a little bit more on safety.
Right. Exactly.
Carter, I want to jump in here and ask you a follow-up question on that about, more women in the industry, okay? And you being a trainer, all right? So tell me this, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot by no means, okay? But is it easier training a female versus a male? And what's the biggest differences?
I'm gonna say this. I might get some flack behind this, but it's in my personal experience. It's easier to train a woman. It's easier to teach. I like to say teach because I feel like you teach human beings. It's easier to teach a woman than it is a man.
Yeah.
In my personal experience, the reason why I say that is threefold. For one, women are naturally cleaner than men, and I like to keep a very clean truck. And so that's one thing. Like I said, secondly, women, they take directions better than men do. It's not that we don't take it, and we don't be able to digest the information. It's just like from me teaching women, if I was to ask them to do something, they automatically would do it the way that I asked them to do it. They don't try to differentiate from it or say, well, I think I can do it better if I do it this way. You kind of get that little pushback with men, you know what I'm saying, versus a woman saying, well, he's a trainer. So if he's saying do it like this, unless it's unsafe, I'm just gonna do it the way he asked me to do it. And last but not least, most of the time the women feel like they got something to prove. They do. They don't feel like it's something that's just given to them because, they're a professional truck driver and they got a CDL. They feel like they have to show that they can do this job just as well as a man do. So, just from seeing those things and being like half and half with training both of them, that's the analysis that I have.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I got one last question for you, my friend. When it's all said and done, what legacy do you hope to leave in trucking?
Well, I want my legacy to be one that was of hard work, one that was of dedication, one that showed that I had a commitment to safety, one that shows that I had integrity, and I wanted to be, if it was something that had something to do with safety or something that had something to do with um, protocol or something like that. Well, Cardell did it like this, and it was a great way to do it. I want it to be someone to be able to say that when Cardell did it, he did it the best way it could be done, and and that's really what I want it to be.
Right. Right. Good answer. I like that.
Thank you.
Cardell, we're going to move into what we call the post-trip part of the show here, man. So it's time to put this show to bed, and it's going to live in infamy on. I didn't say that word right, but it's going to live forever out here on the internet. So this has been a good interview. We do appreciate it. We got about 3 minutes. I want you to just tell the listening audience, a word of safety and a word of advice, to somebody that, may be thinking about getting into the trucking industry, or truck drivers that is out there listening to us now or on the replay.
Okay. Well, when it comes to safety, I would tell everybody right now, watch that right mirror. Just watch that right mirror. You want to watch all your